Most people evaluate others based on what they say rather than what they do. Language is the lowest cost form of human transaction, requiring minimal effort and carrying zero immediate consequence. A promise costs nothing to make. Niccolò Machiavelli observed that people are governed by appearances and immediate necessity, meaning declarations of intent frequently reflect nothing more than a calculated maneuver to secure compliance or diffuse tension. The strategic correction is simple. Treat all speech as unverified hypothesis. Only consistent, repeatable behavior over time constitutes real data. When someone claims to support you, the only meaningful question is whether resources, actions, and risks have actually been allocated on your behalf. Every human action satisfies an underlying drive, whether material gain, status, guilt avoidance, or emotional relief. Betrayal is rarely irrational. It is the predictable outcome of someone maximizing their self-interest when maintaining a prior commitment costs more than abandoning it. Accepting this baseline transforms human behavior from confusing to systematically trackable. Rather than demanding loyalty through emotional appeals, the strategic actor engineers mutual benefit, structuring relationships so that another person's advancement is directly tied to yours. Durable coalitions are built on overlapping incentives, not fragile sentiment. Systems do not naturally elevate the most diligent or technically proficient. They elevate those who acquire and exert leverage. High output without strategic positioning simply makes someone a replaceable worker. Machiavelli warned that operating by ideal standards in a world governed by actual mechanics leads directly to ruin. The three pillars of real advancement are leverage, meaning control over irreplaceable processes; visibility, meaning ensuring key decision-makers directly associate outcomes with your presence; and timing, meaning decisive action during moments of organizational volatility rather than steady incremental effort that goes unnoticed. Institutional environments operate on two distinct tiers. The compliance code applies rigidly to those without leverage, while the discretionary code treats restrictions as negotiable cost-benefit calculations for those who hold structural power. The uninitiated limit their own options by treating rules as absolute, while observing others navigate around them freely. The correction is not reckless disregard for consequences, but analytical assessment. When encountering institutional friction, evaluate the actual enforcement mechanism, the penalty profile relative to strategic yield, and whether competitors are observing the same restriction or voluntarily handicapping themselves. The most dangerous actors in any competitive environment are not open adversaries but covert rivals operating under the cover of cordiality. Open enemies trigger active defenses. Trusted insiders receive unrestricted access. Structural damage can only be inflicted by those granted entry to your internal operational space. The defense is strategic compartmentalization. Share information strictly on a need-to-know basis, never disclose long-term ambitions or unsecured leverage to individuals without operational necessity, and always maintain hidden reserves. Social warmth must never be mistaken for functional alignment. Evaluate people by their structural incentives, not their manners. Broadcasting weakness in competitive environments does not generate empathy. It signals opportunity. Machiavelli's concept of being feared, drawn from the Latin timor, refers not to cruelty, but to respect rooted in clear boundaries and predictable consequences. When an individual appears incapable of defending their limits, others naturally stop taking those limits seriously. The operational posture is calm capability. Resolve internal deficits privately. Present completed solutions rather than live anxiety, and respond to boundary tests promptly and proportionately. Emotional overreaction reveals insecurity. Delayed response invites further encroachment. Neither extreme serves strategic stability. Neutrality is an illusion. Refusing to position yourself strategically does not exempt you from the game. It simply means others will position you for their benefit. Machiavelli described the dual faculty required to navigate complex human environments. The perception of the fox, which detects hidden agendas and structural traps, combined with the strength of the lion, which projects clear power and discourages open attack. Integrating these 7 shifts produces not cynicism, but clarity. You stop reacting to events as a passive subject and begin navigating them as a deliberate actor, observing behavior objectively, mapping incentives accurately, and directing your own trajectory with intention.